This podcast is going to go over the required configuration steps to get your infrastructure built for the application layer labs we will be doing. Up here at the top, I have some stuff to simulate the rich net. You're basically going to configure your router for inter-VLAN routing, your switch to support that, and then a couple hosts. One of those hosts will put a Linux VM on to do some different server type things, but we're just worried about the router, switches, and PC connectivity at this point. So lots of you guys like to work in different ways, so I don't necessarily know what order you're going to go in, if you're going to start at the PCs and work out or start at the connections and work up. I'm going to start at the connections. So your router will connect your 00 port to the indicated port on my switch. Your switch will connect from 024 to your Ethernet 01 port, and then your PCs will connect into a couple of switch ports. I'll go ahead and use port 2 and port 3. So those are the physical connections. I'll go ahead and do the switch next because it's the simplest config. Yeah, didn't type enable first. I'm sure you guys have never done that before. So I'm going to configure FA02 for VLAN 2. Switch port access, VLAN 2. And I'm going to configure port 3 for VLAN 3. And we're going to need an extra port later on. So I'm going to go ahead and configure port 4 for VLAN 3 also. So then I need to make port 24 a trunk. So then that is all of my switch config that is required. On my router, I need to configure my interfaces, and I need to configure a static default route. So I will go configure my router. 00 is connected to the rich net. You will be giving a chart that tells you what IP address to use. It'll be something like that. No shutdown. All right, we need to configure 01. We're going to configure this guy for inter-VLAN routing. So we'll go ahead and do no shutdown on the physical interface. Lots of you guys like to do no shutdown on the sub interfaces, but you need to do no shutdown on the physical. Once you bring the physical up, then all the sub interfaces will be fine. We create a sub interface for VLAN 2. Set the encapsulation to tell it what VLAN it's working for, and I'll set the IP address. 128. This has a 25-bit mask, so it'll be 128. I need to do my other sub interface for VLAN 3. Set the IP address to 129. And then that's it for now. Show IP int brief. My IPs are all up. My interfaces are all up, have the correct IPs and everything. So now I need to go set IPs on my host. This is my VLAN 2 PC. Trying to use the keypad, it's not working. Number pad. And go ahead and set 100.100 to 100.2 as your DNS server for now, for the first part of the lab. I'll go configure my other PC. This PC is in VLAN 3. I'll make it 130. And set that to that. So now we'll do some connectivity checks. I should be able to ping my other PC. 130. And simulator, the first ping usually fails, so I'll be patient and wait for it to fail. All right, so I can ping the other PC. I'll ping the other side of my router. The other side of my router is 101. I can ping that. I'll ping the RichNet gateway. Oh no, I can't ping the RichNet gateway. Whatever should I do? It's not working. Why is it not working? Well, let's go look at the router config. There's two reasons why it's not working. One reason is I didn't add my default route to my router, so I have no default route. Oh, conft. Can't believe they always want me to be in the right mode. How rude. Oh, Control C didn't work. I'll just type it again. Alright, so I have that now. Alright, I have a static route, so now is the ping going to work? Let's see. Oh no, the ping's not working. Why is the ping not working? Well, the ping's not working because this router up here, this is where the .1 lives. If we look at the routing table on this router, there are no routes for the 10 network, and I don't have a default gateway set, and I'm not going to have a default gateway set, because if I had a default gateway set, it would be pointed out to the real internet. We're going to fix this by configuring NAT on our router. We have private IPs down here. This is representing a public network up here, even though we're using a private IP. This represents the public network in our lab environment. So I need to configure NAT to make this work. NAT stands for Network Address Translation. There's basically 4 steps, I think, to configure this. We need to go into each interface and identify it as an outside interface or an inside interface. So the one connected to the rich net will be IPNAT outside to identify it as an outside interface. And then we need to go into each sub interface and tell it that it is an inside interface. We need to create an access list to match our traffic. Access list 1 permits. We're going to create a standard access list that's going to basically let anything from 10.1.1.0. I think I need a wildcard mask for this. So that says permit 10.1.1.0 space 0.0.0.255. So that creates the access list. And then we need to put in a NAT command to enable port address translation as well. So the command for that, IPNAT inside source list 1 interface FA00 overload. So what that tells it is I want to do IPNAT inside interfaces that match source list 1, which this is source list 1 we just created, and I want to give it the IP address of the interface FA00, and I want to do an overload for that. So I hit enter for that, and I have my NAT in place now. So now, in theory, my ping should work. Now, in theory, my ping should work. My ping's still not working, which kind of sucks. So let's do, look at our config, make sure we didn't mess something up. IPNAT outside, IPNAT inside, IPNAT inside, IPNAT inside source list 1. All right, well, the traffic is being translated and sent out, so I don't know why the ping's not working at this point. Let's make sure I can ping from here. Well, I can't even ping my RichNet interface. Oh, there's a problem. I connected things backwards. I configured 00 to be on that side and 01 to be on that side, and I connected it backwards. So that was an awesome little troubleshooting exercise for you. In fact, I did that on purpose. I intentionally connected it backwards, and I knew the whole time it was connected backwards so that you guys could practice troubleshooting. So yeah, so that was awesome. We haven't talked about port fast in here in this class, but port fast is good for making ports go active faster. It's a good idea to do that on your routers if you don't want to wait around. So if we look at my light was orange, oh, it just turned green. My light was orange. If you enable port fast, on your switch interfaces, it makes the light be active, the link be active immediately. See if this works this time. Oh, hey, check that out. It's awesome. It's working. Good thing I built in that extra troubleshooting practice for us as part of the thing. So pretty much that's the basic config we're going to be running with for the next 3 weeks. So you should hopefully be able to do it quickly and competently so you can move on to the lab activities without delay. So that was the config we'll be doing.